Hi, I'm Demetria, and you're listening to Soul Podcasting. This is a podcast where I share weekly insights, advice, and support for new and veteran podcasters. I'm your Impact Podcast Coach, and I'm here to inspire and motivate you to launch and leverage your impactful podcast. You're listening to episode number 1. So welcome. This is a quick intro episode to share with you who I am and what this podcast is all about. So first off, I just want to welcome you. I am super glad that you're here to listen. And if you are even thinking of creating a podcast or you just need support and some encouragement along the way in your podcasting journey, that's what this podcast is here for and what I aim to do in this show every week. So again, my name is Demetria Zinga, and I've been podcasting since 2004, and I've created a total of 8 podcasts since then. I currently run 4, and my husband runs a podcast as well. And just so you know a little bit more about the kinds of topics that interest me, I'll share with you what those podcasts are. So I am the host and creator of the Her Business Elevated podcast, the Mompreneurs and Heals podcast, the Christian Homeschool Moms podcast, and finally this show, Soul Podcasting. Additionally, my husband loves running the Leadership and Success podcast, where he is the creator and host. So as you can see, our family is very much into podcasting. And the reason I started podcasting is because I felt a need, or even a calling, so to speak, to share my thoughts with an online community that I'd created for women of faith back in 2004. And I needed an audio outlet because it was a heck of a lot easier to have my audience listen to web audio clips. This is before I knew how to create an RSS feed and how to turn my web audio into a fully functional podcast. But once I found out that I could syndicate my show, I was hooked. And I've never looked back, and went on, in fact, to create a course and a coaching program at that time to assist other women of faith, who were my primary niche audience at the time, to also start their own podcasts. So life went on for me. I moved a couple of times. I had a few children. I began a homeschooling lifestyle and became a stay-at-home, work-at-home mom. And these life changes all led to a different sort of podcasting for the next 10 years of my life, where I shared insights about home education and parenting and being a mompreneur on my other 2 podcasts. So fast forward today. My kids have grown up, and I've been focusing my energy now on coaching women entrepreneurs with creating an online business that brings them joy and passion. However, I've also, as of recently, returned to podcast coaching. This is one of the coolest and most impactful coaching that I've ever done since 2006. And because I desire to see awesome entrepreneurs like yourself create a podcast that makes a significant impact in your community and in your world, I've decided that I would love to be your impact podcast coach. So on future episodes, you're going to hear me talk about all things podcasting A through Z. You'll hear me speak about podcasting news, how-to podcast tutorials, and answer any listener questions that you might have about podcasting. And I will be sharing content here on this show, as well as at my brand new YouTube channel. You can also reach me on Instagram at my full name, which is Demetria Zinga. And on TikTok, I'm at Impact Podcast Coach. And lastly, don't forget to find me at my home base, which is my website. And that's going to house all of this information plus additional info about ways you can work with me one-on-one through private coaching. You can find that at impactpodcastcoach.com. So if you have any questions about podcasting, I'm your gal. I have over 17 years of experience and a passion for launching and growing podcasts that make a difference in your world. So I can't wait to join you on the next episode number 2, where I'll be sharing more about what it means to podcast and why I believe you should totally start your own podcast. So stick around for episode number 2, and I can't wait to talk to you then.